Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the new normal class of Mathematics 7. I am your teacher, Romel Palado. Today we will be discussing about the topic angles. Today will be the fourth week of the third quarter. Before that, may I present to you first our objectives for today's discussion. In this lesson, you are expected to first define angle, angle pair, and the different types of angles. Second, classify angles according to their measures. And lastly, solve problems involving angles. Definition of an angle. The following are examples of angles. Kindly familiarize the first illustrations. Next one, the following are not angles. Can you cite the difference between the first illustrations and the second illustrations? Why is it an angle and the other one is not angles? Let's. Which of these are angles? Alright, they are angles. They are not angles. Why do you think so? Let's define first an angle. An angle is a union of two non-collinear rays with common endpoint. The two non-collinear rays are the sides of the angle, while the common endpoint is the vertex. Is this an angle? Number 2 question. Why is this figure taken as a whole, not an angle? If no confusion will arise, an angle can be designated by its vertex. If more precision is required, 3 letters are used to identify an angle. The middle letter is the vertex, while the other 2 letters are the points, one from each side other than the vertex of the angle. For the question number 1, is this an angle? Of course it is, because it is the two rays collide or they share a common endpoints. The second question, why is this figure taken as a whole, not an angle? It is because it consists of a line segment. For example, the angle on the left can be named angle A or angle BAC or angle CAB. The mathematical notation is BAC or CAB. An angle divides the plane containing into two regions, the interior and the exterior of the angle. Interior angle is inside of the angle, while exterior is the outside of the angle. Measuring and constructing angles. A protractor is an instrument used to measure angles. The unit of measure we use is the degree denoted by this one. Angle measures are between 0 degrees and 180 degrees. The measure of angle A is denoted by measure of angle A or simply angle A. Measuring an angle. How to measure? First, construct angles with the following measures: 90 degrees, 60 degrees, 30 degrees, and 120 degrees. From the figure, determine the measure of each angle. Let's try to solve this one. How to solve an angle? For number 1, that is angle EHC. E is the first side and C is the second side of our angle. 140 minus 60, that is 90. Number 2, angle CHF. The first side is angle C and the second side is angle F. which means 160 minus 60, that is 100. Number 3. Angle IHA. The first we have the first side is I and the second side is A, which means 90 minus 0 is equal to 90. Number 4. Angle BHD. The first side is B and the second side is D. Now, 110 minus 40, that is 70. So, the following numbers need to be solved by you in order for you to master out how to solve an angle. Estimating angle measures. In the drawings below, some of the indicated measures of angles are correct and some are obviously wrong. Using estimation, state which measures are correct and which are wrong. The measures are given in degrees. You are not expected to measure the angles. Number 1, is it true? Of course, because 25 degrees is less than 90 degrees. So that is why its illustration is acute angle. How about number 2? Still correct because it's more than 90 degrees, so the illustration is obtuse angle. Number 3. Number 3 is false because 100 is more than 90 degrees, so its illustration must be obtuse angle. Number 4, 60 degrees. Okay, number 4 is true because 60 degrees is acute angle. Number 5, correct. Number 6 as well. How about number 7? Is it correct? Okay, even though it is acute, but it must greater than the first one, number 1. Since 85 degrees is more than 25 degrees, so it must be almost 90 degrees or right angle. Number 8. What I am talking about right angle is number 8, 90 degrees. That is true. Number 9, it is also true, as well as number 10. The three different types of angles are acute, right, and obtuse angles. An acute angle measures more than 0 degrees but less than 90 degrees. A right angle measures exactly 90 degrees, while an obtuse angle measures more than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. If two lines or segments intersect so that they form a right angle, then they are perpendicular. In fact, two perpendicular lines meet to form 4 right angles. Always remember this note that we define angle as a union of two non-collinear rays with a common endpoint. In trigonometry, an angle is sometimes defined as the rotation of a ray about its endpoint. Here, there is a distinction between the initial position of the ray and its terminal position. This leads to the designation of the initial side and the terminal side. The measure of an angle is the amount of rotation. If the direction of the rotation is considered, negative angles might arise. This also generates additional types of angles, for example, the zero, straight, reflex, and the paragon angles. A zero angle measures exactly 0 degrees. A straight angle measures exactly 180 degrees. A reflex angle measures more than 180 degrees but less than 360 degrees. And a paragon angle measures exactly 360 degrees or one complete revolution or rotation. On angle pairs. Two angles are adjacent if they are coplanar, have a common vertex and a common side but have no common interior points. Two angles are complementary if the sum of their measures is 90 degrees. Two angles are supplementary if the sum of their measures is 180 degrees. Two angles form a linear pair if they are both adjacent and supplementary. Vertical angles are the opposite angles formed when two lines intersect. Angles are congruent. For example, the beta angle and the alpha angle are congruent angles because they are vertical angles. Always consider this kind of perception wherein the vertical angles are congruent angles. It means that they have the same measure of angles. Parts of an angle. Use the figure to identify the following. Number 1. The sides of angle YVW is complementary angles. How about the sides of XVY? The same, complementary angles. Number 3. The angles or adjacent to angle ZVW. The adjacent of this kind of angle, we have ZVY or ZVX. That is the adjacent angle of angle ZVW. So try to answer this one so that you can familiarize what is adjacent, what is the complementary and the supplementary of an angle, and what side is the common of this kind of angles. Determine the measures of the angles marked with letters. Note, figures are not drawn to scale. For number 1, we have a right angle. The first one measures 27 degrees while the second one is named angle A. Here's the solutions how to solve this kind of problem. First, just simply A plus 27 is equal to 90 degrees. It is because a right angle measures 90 degrees. So just simply equate it into 90 degrees. So we have A plus 27 is equal to 90 degrees. Now, let's apply the subtraction property of equality. We have A plus 27 minus 27 is equal to 90 minus 27. Then we are going to simplify 27 minus 27, that is 0, and 90 minus 27, that is 63. So the measures of angle A is 63 degrees. Let's with example number 2. Again, this is a right triangle. Here's the solutions. There are 3b. If we add b plus b plus b, we can have 3b is equal to 90 degrees. It is because it forms a 90 degrees. Now we are going to apply the division property of equality. 3b divided by 3 is equal to 90 divided by 3. Now 3 divided by 3 is 1. So what left in the left side is b. Then 90 divided by 3, that is equal to 30 degrees. So every b is equal to 30 degrees. The first b is 30, the second b is 30, and the third b is 30. So the measurement or the total measurement of these angles is 90 degrees. Number, we have another right triangle. We have the C, C, and 40 degrees. Here's the solutions. We can have C plus C, that is 2C, plus 40 degrees is equal to 90 degrees. Then we are going to apply the subtraction property of equality. 2C plus 40 minus 40 is equal to 90 minus 40. Then we are going to simplify 40 minus 40, that is 0. 90 minus 40, that is 50. After that, we are going to have the division property of equality, which means 2c divided by 2 is equal to 50 divided by 2. After that, we are going to simplify 2 divided by 2, that is 1. What left is c. Then 50 divided by 2, that is 25. And every C measures 25 degrees. So 25 degrees plus 25 degrees, that is 50, plus 40, that is 90 degrees. So the total measurement of the angle number 3 is 90 degrees. How about this one? Here's the solutions. D plus 82 plus 41 is equal to 180 degrees. Why do you think so that the total measurement of these angles is 180 degrees? It is because it forms a straight line. And a straight line or straight angle measures exactly 180 degrees. So we can now have D plus 82 plus 41 is equal to 180. Now we are going to simplify 82 plus 41, that is 125. Then we are going to apply the subtraction property of equality, which means D plus 125 minus 125 is equal to 180 minus 125. Then 125 minus 125, that is 0. 180 minus 125, that is 55. So therefore, the measure of angle D is 55. After that, we can apply the adjacent or the properties of angles, which means the vertical angles. Now, 82 degrees is the same measure with angle E. 41 degrees is under the angle D, and F measures the same as angle D, which means angle F is 55 degrees and angle E is 82 degrees. Number 5, we have G 74 degrees, 53 degrees. So we can have G plus 74 plus 53 is equal to 180. Again, it forms a straight angle. Now, let's simplify 74 plus 53, that is 127. Then we can apply the subtraction property of equality, which means 127 minus 127 is equal to 0. And 180 minus 127, that is equal to 53. Therefore, the measurement of angle G is 53 degrees. Try to determine whether the statement is true or false. If false, explain why. 20 degrees, 30 degrees, 40 degrees are complementary angles. 100 degrees, 50 degrees, 30 degrees are supplementary angles. Always take note that only pairs of angles are complementary or supplementary to each other. Hence, the angles measuring 20 degrees, 30 degrees, and 90 or 40 degrees are not complementary, because complementary angles are composed only two angles, which means that they are going to be added so that they can have a measurement of 90 degrees. Similarly, the angles measuring 100 degrees, 50 degrees, and 30 degrees are not supplementary. Angles form when two lines are cut by a transversal line. Given the lines X and Y, the figure on the left side, the line Z is a transversal of the two lines. A transversal means it is a line that intersects two or more lines. The following angles are formed when a transversal intersects the two lines. When a transversal line is cut by two lines, the interior angles as well as exterior angles occurred. The interior angles are the four angles formed between the lines X and Y. In the figure, these are angles C, D, E, and F, which means interior angles are formed between the lines X and Y, while the exterior angles are the four angles formed that lie outside lines X and Y. These are angles A, B, G, and H. Now the difference between interior angles and exterior angles are the angles inside, while the exterior angles are the angles lies outside the lines. We have also the alternate interior angles, are two interior angles that lie on opposite sides of a transversal. The angle pairs C and F are alternate interior angles, so are angles E and D. When we say alternate, that means they are in the opposite sides, just like for angle C and F, and E and D. Next, we have the alternate exterior angles are two exterior angles that lie on opposite sides of the transversal. In the figure, angle A and H are alternate exterior angles as well as G and B. We have also the corresponding angles are two angles, one interior and the other exterior, on the same side of the transversal. The pairs of corresponding angles are C and A, E and A, G and E, G and C, F and B, D and B, D and H, and F and H. Which means the corresponding angles is consist of two angles which are the first angle must interior angle and the second angle must exterior angle. Always remember when two parallel lines are cut by a transversal as shown, the box angles are congruent. Also corresponding angles are congruent, alternate interior angles are congruent, and alternate exterior angles are congruent. Moreover, linear pairs are supplementary. Interior angles on the same side of the transversal are supplementary, and exterior angles on the same side of the transversal are also supplementary. In this lesson, you learned about angles, constructing angles with a given measure, measuring a given angle, types of angles, and angle pairs. I hope you really understand our topic for this afternoon. Encircle the correct answer. Question number 1. What do you call an angle whose measure is more than 0 degrees but less than 90 degrees? A. Acute angle. B. Right angle. C. Obtuse angle. D. Straight angle. The correct answer is letter A. Acute angle, because right angle measures exactly 90 degrees. Obtuse angle measures more than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. And a straight angle measures exactly 180 degrees. Number 2. What do you call an angle whose measures exactly 90 degrees? That is right angle. Number 3. What do you call an angle whose measures more than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees? That is 100 or that is obtuse angle. Question number 4. It is a line that intersects more than two or more lines. A. Transversal line. B. Parallel line. C. Skew line. D. Intersecting line. The answer is letter A. Transversal line. These are the four angles formed inside after the two lines cut by a transversal line. The word or the hint there is inside after the two lines are cut. So A. Interior angles, B. Adjacent angles, C. Exterior angles, D. Corresponding angles. Okay, the answer is interior angles because exterior angles are formed outside after the two lines are cut by a transversal line, while adjacent angles shares a common side. Corresponding angles must consist of interior angles as well as exterior angles on the same side. So thank you for listening, everyone. Just simply log on to our e-learning site or just simply like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Global Academy Institute of Technology Foundation Incorporated. If you want to attend the asynchronous class, just simply go to the Facebook, get F Grade 7. If you have any questions or clarifications or suggestions regarding our topic today, don't hesitate to contact me to my cell phone number 0930-680-829. Again, you may contact me to my cell phone number 0930-680-829. This is your teacher, Romel Palado. God bless everyone. Stay safe.